Hello again and welcome to our reading of Acts of the Apostles, and we're up to chapter 10 and starting at verse 11. So this is Peter is having a vision, and we read here, and he sees heaven and oigmenon. So this is the perfect passive participle from anoigo is the verb. From anoigo. Now, although it is a compound verb, and what they've done is here they have done a double augment here. They've augmented the oig by lengthening the omicron, but they've added another augment as well in the perfect. So it's from anoigo to open, and so he sees the heaven opened, having been opened, and a skuos, this is a third declension neuter, and hence we have a neuter participle here. Skuos is a fairly vague word. It generally means a vessel. It's something you do things with, and so it's pretty vague. Here probably just object. A certain thing, a certain object, katabinon. This is a neuter participle agreeing with skuos, descending. Hos orthone. An orthone is a large piece of cloth. So like a great piece of cloth, tesserasi archais. This again is an odd expression here. It's with four beginnings. So probably with four corners. The word is used in this sort of sense in the Septuagint of the extremities of the high priest's breastplate. So it's the beginnings. It means the corners. So a great large piece of cloth with four corners. Kathi emenon. This is from kath hiami, or kata plus hiami. Fortunately. So, kath hiami, this is the passive participle from this. So, descending or being let down. So, kath hiami is to let down, so it's passive. Being let down, epites gaze upon the earth. And on it, literally in it, and on it, hup erken, there were. I think that is just, it's neuter plural, singular verb, and I think it's impersonal here. There were all the tetrapeda, the four-footed things, kai herpeta, the creeping things of the earth, so that's the reptiles, and the petena, the flying things of the heaven, so the birds of the heaven. And and there was a voice to him, or a voice came perhaps to him. Anastas, this is participle, aorist participle from anastami, having got up, O Peter, vocative, thuson kai phage. So this is an aorist imperative and a weak aorist, strong aorist imperative and a weak aorist imperative. This is from thuo, to sacrifice, and this is from estheo. The aorist is ephagon. So it's often translated kill and eat, but it literally is sacrifice and eat. And Peter said, Medemos, in no way, Kyrie, O Lord, because udepoti, never, literally not ever, ephagon, have I eaten, any koinon, common and unclean thing, akathaton. And the voice again, ek deuteru, this is idiomatic, it's a second time, literally from a second happening, so for a second time, understand, came to him. There's no verb here, you've got to supply one. Ha, relative pronoun, that which, with the antecedent is not there, but to supply it again, that which God ekatharesen has made pure, sume koinu. Now this is actually a verb. It's from koinoo, and what's happening here is we're getting koino, and then the imperative ending is e, and this is contracting to give you the koinu. So this is actually an imperative, present imperative, a verb koinoo, to make common, or to regard as common. So do not make common that which God has made clean. This egeneto, this took place epitris. This is a funny expression. It's not classical and it's very rarely found. It does turn up again in the next chapter of Fact of Acts, but it is quite rare. The meaning's clear, epitris, for 3 times, so just 3 times. So this took place 3 times, and immediately tos skuos, this is this object, an elamphthe, with the mu infix here. This is from the aorist passive from ana lambano, to take up. Again, that infix mu probably would not have been there in classical Greek, but it's coming back in, as we see in various forms of this verb, from ana lambano. So immediately this object was taken up as ton uranon into the heaven, so into heaven. And when Peter, this is from di aporio, was perplexed. So this is an imperfect from di aporio. So when, or perhaps since, Peter was perplexed en hiauto, in himself, as to what horama, the vision which he saw, an ae, this is the optative from the verb to be, might be. So as Peter was perplexed in himself as to what the vision which he saw might be, so while that was happening, so the hose possibly is while or when here, idu, behold, the men, the ones having been sent, perfect passive participle here, hupo to Corneliu, by Cornelius, di erotesantes, having made inquiry, I think, about the house of Simon, ep estesan epi ton pulona, they stood at the porch. This is from epihistemi. So they stood at the porch, and phones santes, literally having said, probably called out, from phoneo, aorist participle, having called out, this is from ponthanomai, middle, they were making inquiries, so they were inquiring if Simon, the one nicknamed Peter, is being hosted, is being entertained, is being looked after enthade there, as a xenos, as a guest friend. Now we get a genitive absolute here. The verb is dien thumio. Here it's middle, and it's pondering. So while Peter was pondering regarding the vision, the subject here is topneuma, the Spirit said to him, idu, behold, 3, so there, understand there are 3 men setuntes seeking you. Now, Allah often towards the beginning of a sentence has more the sense of come rather than but. So, come, anastas, getting up, aorist imperative here, katabathi from katabino, go, so stand up and go down because he's upstairs on the top of the house. Go down and go with them, maiden diakrinomenos. Now, diakrinomai originally meant to distinguish, but it's often used in the New Testament in the sense of doubting. It's used that way in the Epistle of James, for example. So doubting in respect of nothing. So putting aside all doubts, because I have sent, this is a perfect in fact, I have sent them autus. And Peter, having gone down, he said to the men, Idu, behold, I am, understand, the one whom you are seeking. What is the reason on account of which you are present? And they said, Cornelius, the centurion, a man who is just and who fears God, and who is witnessed to as being just and fearing God by all the race of the Jews, ekrematiste, this not quite sure, it's from krematisdo. The verb could be derived here from kresmos, an oracle, so he has been warned in a divine sense. So he has been warned by a holy angel, metapet, to send for you into his house, to invite you into his house, and to hear aremata, words, parasu, from you. And he having invited them in, understood, exenesen, he looked after them. He entertained them from xenisto. He treated them as guest friends. And that's the end of that little section.